Hello, gentle viewers. This is Indian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 22 with the 105 game winning Pittsburgh Pirates. Last season was extremely unexpected, came out of nowhere. I'm still not quite sure how we managed it, as we gained almost 20 wins on the previous season, and we did lose in the league championship series. Which is fine, because frankly I would have been happy with a wild card. And let's go ahead and break down how we got where we did. Now, one of the most important reasons, and it really can't be overstated, is Juan Soto. He led the league in on-base percentage, slugging, and OPS. Even if he was slightly more valuable in 2027, that's because he missed a few games. Soto came as delivered. If we're expecting like $6 million a win, he's a little overpaid. If it's closer to 8, he's underpaid. Regardless, you can't really ask for more out of the heart of your order. He also hit 40 home runs for the first time in his career, I believe. Yep. Cole Young, when he was healthy, just basically reaccomplished his previous season. Definitely can't argue with his success. Jimenez was decent. But it wasn't really our offense that got it done, though, is the thing. Yes, the offense was good, but it wasn't great. And was mostly a bunch of players playing relatively well for a relatively long period. So that's the good news. Is offensively, I don't really feel that anyone has hit their ceiling yet. Montesino, in particular, I mean, I don't know if he's going to be our starting right fielder this season, but we have some gains to make here with the lineup, with the possible exception of Soto, and maybe it's too much to ask Cole Young to say push still farther and be that 300 hitting shortstop he could be. And if this is what he is, fantastic, no complaints. Although his injury proneness is worrying. I need to accept that Noah Smith is what he is at this point. He's given me 3 full seasons of... No, check that, 4 full seasons. He's never been a great hitter. He's been good at getting on base. He's been a pretty competent second baseman. And he's stolen the odd base or two. That may just be what he is. And if that's the case, he's going to be better suited to being a backup. A really useful second base shortstop hybrid. There's still some value in him, though, and if he can get to the point where he's hitting like 280 or 290 regularly, then he becomes much more palatable. Mina had a very outstanding partial season. I really need to give him a bigger chance at some point, maybe. We'll see what happens here. Nelson took a major step back, but he was still a productive hitter. I have to attribute this because he's still the same player, right? Nothing has changed about that. He still has the ridiculous contact and gap power skills. He still has pretty decent home run power. He's never going to walk much, but he also shouldn't strike out all that much. If we analyze his stats a bit farther, we see his BABIP was right about there. I was actually thinking that might be what happened to him. His strikeouts did go up, but he saw more pitches per plate appearance. I'm not sure what happened, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know at all, other than just to say, maybe it was just a down year offensively. That's the only thing I can think of, right? Because in all other respects, he was much better in 2027. Yeah, I don't know what he did differently. He just didn't hit as often. Well, we can maybe expect to bounce back from him. Brady House, I think I've seen enough of him to know that we're probably better off with him being third baseman than just about anyone else. Not everyone has to be a megastar, and I think he's okay. I don't think he's brilliant, but I think he's okay. He'll probably get replaced here at some point in the near future. Zion Rose has probably earned a starting spot as our catcher, and I think he's going to be our everyday starter with Endy Rodriguez as the backup. We're going to switch their two roles. But the long and short of it is, we need to make upgrades somewhere, and I just don't know where those upgrades come from yet. So we're going to have to think about that. And we're going to have to think about it with almost no money. With almost no money. So we're going to have to find a way to maybe cut some payroll, or just accept that we're going to have to cut. Like, we're $10 million over budget right now. That is not a small thing. There's not an easy solution to that, other than, say, like cutting the development budget, which I really don't want to do, or trading a couple of players for cash. So maybe that's what we have to do. I'm not sure. A commenter made a really good point about pitcher fatigue and how it can affect the rest of the team. At the end of the day, there's not much I can do about that. Like, I could tell them to pull the pitchers out more frequently. Instead, I think we maybe consider carrying 14 pitchers next season. We're in the National League, right? Which means I don't need an everyday DH, which means I could probably do with 12 hitters better than most teams. That may be what we have to do. I'm not sure. But let's start talking money. Because this is the big issue, right? I have 3 pitchers who really desperately want to get paid. 4 if you count Detmers, and Detmers is gone. I mean, he wants to get paid. I don't blame him for that. And the 3 pitchers who want to get paid are Maldonado, Priester, and Feldman. So, Feldman has been an outstanding closer. But look where we got him, the Rule 5 draft. There are tons of relievers just like Feldman in the Rule 5 available every season. And to be blunt, I can't afford to pay $10 million for a closer. I just can't. I'm not with my budget constraints. So we're actually going to try to trade Feldman and try to get something good out of it. I'm going to be... I want prospects because I want to save money, right? And I already noticed I'm not getting very good offers. The AI is getting a lot smarter. They realize I'm probably going to have to non-tender him because I can't afford to pay him. And they're right. I can't afford to pay him. He's very replaceable. The question is, do I trade him for a subpar prospect and get nothing? I mean, there is a lot to like about Crafton's game here. Except for his contact. That's a possibility. Braden Sharp is a good outfielder, but not a great hitter. His ceiling is probably 4th outfielder. That's interesting. That's very interesting, actually. A guy like Dan Farmer, who's durable, decent stamina, not great, but decent, a good pitch mix, and really good control. Yeah, I think we take Farmer and see if we can also get them to throw in somebody else. Let me change you to available. Because if I can get a couple 3 of their prospects, this becomes a much more palatable deal from my perspective. I don't want Coy James. Could I get David Hogg II, or is that asking too much? No, that's That's a little bit too much. Fair. I'm trying to look for good contact guys. How about Oswaldo Linares here? Could you give me him? No. I'll tell you what we'll do. We're going to do this. I'm going to ask for $5 million. And then I'm going to drop Linares. And I'm going to offer this deal to him. It's a pretty, like, you might say no, but I'm willing to do it. And we're just going to sim for a couple of days. Oh, we do have people have to be activated, don't we? There we go. A personal message, almost. I need the money. And if I can give you someone like Tian, who has great stamina but awful movement. No, I actually like Tian, damn it. And he's the only one that I would obviously trade. Oh boy, I give you not Juan Soto, please. And I really don't want to give up Mina and Montesino unless I'm getting a lot more money out of this. Or an even better prospect. And the thing is... What if I reduce the amount of cash I ask for? What if I ask for $3 million instead? Because I really don't want to give up an outfielder just to make some money, unless I desperately have to. Okay, you've actually changed your deals quite a bit, and now you're asking for players that aren't nearly as good. Elias Jimenez is a decent power hitter, and that's literally all he has to offer. And then let's see if I can get you to throw in one of those other players. I really kind of want Osvaldo Linares if they'll make it happen. So let's try this. I'm well aware that there's also other decisions to make. Getting close. What else do I have to throw in? I'll give you another shortstop who can't shortstop. And I'm just going to complete the deal. And I'm sorry that we lost Feldman, but the truth is I can replace him a lot easier than I can replace just about anyone else. And this now means we don't have to worry about trading just to save money. And that was a big thing I wanted to make sure that we did this season. It was worth it in the short term, even if it'll hurt a little bit in the long run. I'm also going to increase ticket prices. Look, we won 100 games. I think people should want to come out and support the Pirates and make me more money. So, next up is Maldonado. I am delighted to pay him his arbitration salary. Done. Eddie Yean is probably misused as a starter, and I need to come to grips with that and stop making him do it, no matter how much the AI wants me to. But he could be like a mega reliever. Or just another long man to help save the rotation and the rest of the bullpen. So for that reason, I will go and give him his relatively meager raise. And, what are you talking about here? Why did my budget just, like, disintegrate? Oh, Priester. I can't do it again. I cannot afford to spend that much money on one player I can't haze myself with Priester. Feldman is going to be not difficult to replace. Priester will be almost impossible to replace. And here's the thing. He's fragile. He really is. He's been an above-average performer, and I respect that. But I have to pinch pennies. I have to. The only way to keep the core that we have together is once a player hits a certain monetary threshold, we got to get rid of him. Unless he's so ridiculously awesome that paying him doesn't hurt the rest of the team. And here's the thing. As much as I could just offer him this $12 million here, we're going to lose. Like, there's just no way that we win that particular fight, so to speak. So I'm going to try to trade him, and we're going to see what kind of offers we get in terms of prospects. All right, we're actually getting some reasonably good offers, which is excellent to know. And we're definitely going to do some exploration into who makes the most sense. I really like Geertis, except for the contact. I need to stop falling in love with hitters like this because he'll never succeed in Pittsburgh as long as he can't hit for regular contact. Now that's interesting. John Cooper Williams seems to be a very good all-around right fielder. He's a leader. He's got high adaptability. He's very smart. He's a great hitter. He may not hit much for power, but the rest of his game is really strong. You're a definite possibility, amigo. I'm going to come back to you. Coy James, I don't really need yet another shortstop. And he's also a couple seasons away anyway, so I'm just going to skip past him. Aiden Miller, good defensively, can't hit for contact. Again, good defensively, can't hit for contact. I love the name, but again, Steve Prather might be the better player in a couple of seasons, but he's not the better player right now. If you had a third pitch, you'd be a starter, my dude. So I'd like to pick Prather. However, we're trying to be in a position where we can still compete this season. And John Cooper Williams seems like he could potentially be a star. So I'm going to pick him. And I'm going to try to get another prospect or two out of this. Let's go for the goal. Let's try for Jesus Ramirez. Oh, you just got... Yep, it even reminded me there. That was silly of me. I'm also going to try to get him to give me some money. So I'm going to throw in Nate Hargrove. I can always use another bullpen guy. Oh, you have no cash available. I see. So you actually won't give me any money. Understandable. Have a nice day. A guy like Jaden Knight could be pretty valuable. Because he's really good defensively, and his bat might be just good enough to carry his glove. I'm willing to make this offer. And again, I know we're losing. I know we're not getting a great deal out of this. But again, we're up against it. Until our financial situation improves, that's just where we are right now. You want Rojas? You have Rojas. Done. And I'm really sorry this is going to piss off the fans, but I have to do what's best for the team both this season and next season. And now we have some financial flexibility so that I can make my rest of my arbitration offers. So Yin. That's reasonable. Bruns is reasonable. Oops. He's not going to like that. Here we go. I'm going to come back to Davidson. Uribe. Done. Smith. Done. Head. Done. It's less than $1 million, and he really filled in well when Soto got hurt. Now, Davidson. You had an outstanding year in the bullpen. Without question. And if you think I'm going to buy that, this is your new performance level, you're absolutely insane. I'm not doubling your salary over what's quite clearly a one-year fluke. I'm going to trade you too. And I'm not going to be anywhere near as picky as I was with the others. Okay, you know what? That's fine. Non-tendered. I'm not paying $2 million for a reliever who just had his first good season. How many 40-man slots have I? Have 5. Okay. I don't really care about losing most of these players. Dan Farmer, I will put you on the 40-man because I do think you've got an important role to play on this team. So I'm going to do that so I don't lose you to the Rule 5. Mr. Sanchez here, I think also has a chance to be an important contributor. He can go on the 40-man. And then I really don't care who else gets taken off this roster. I really don't. No one else is really that great. I think we'll weather the loss of what's-his-face better than we would losing Priester. Because right now, if Maldonado does come back, and he might, but if he does, then we've still got one of the better rotations. But we've definitely lost some strength from it. And we're probably going to need to sign at least 1, maybe 2 starters. Just like 1-year flyers like we did for Detmer. There's another long-term question to be discussed here before we advance forward, which is Garrett Gunnels. And the fact is, Gunnels is going to be error-prone. And the question is, am I okay with that? And the bigger question is, can I afford not to be okay with that? We need impact bats. He is, if nothing else, an impact bat. And how many... He played 300 at-bats at AA this season. He's going to get a shot in spring training to prove he can stick already. Like, I know Noah Smith is definitely the better second baseman, but Gunnels is also definitely the better hitter. And it's not particularly close in either direction. So yeah, we'll see how he does in spring training. But if he can win the job outright, it may be the end for Noah Smith. Because I'm only going to carry 12 12 position players a season, and we're going to see if that makes a difference. Really not anyone to be excited about. Gold glove for Noah Smith. Don't you know it's the kiss of death on this team? Apparently, once you win a gold glove, I stop caring about you. We probably got reliever of the year for Durbin Feltman. Not that I really care, but the fans kind of like him. Good for him. Yeah, Durbin Feltman was amazing and a big part of our success, and he's just too damn expensive. He's just too damn expensive. Hey, manager of the year. Oh, poop. I forgot to put you on the active roster. My mistake. Quinn Priester won a Silver Slugger. That's pretty funny. John Cooper Williams won Rookie of the Year and then became a Pirate. Excellent. And then I won Manager of the Year. I wonder if we have any chance at getting MVP for Soto. Probably not. But we can look at least, right? Wonder how close Soto came to winning an MVP. Probably not very. So, okay. Cy Young was Jack Flaherty. And really, none of the Pirates were really in contention except for Reed Detmers, and I think that's reasonable. Soto finished 4th. I mean, Acuna did hit 44 home runs and hit 301. But Soto hit 304 and hit 41 home runs, but led the league in OPS. Like, maybe he's... Did he win a gold glove, too? He was a great right fielder. That's fair, actually. Garcia hit 50 homers. Fernando Tatis hit 33 and is also a shortstop, by the way. So, yeah. I guess I'm not too shocked. Someone voted for Reed Detmers in MVP. That's pretty funny. You've got to be a pretty desperate team to think that that's a smart play, but whatever. I liked Reed Detmers. He's not remotely near Hall of Fame not Hall of Fame, sorry. Cy Young consideration. Abreu's lost. I need to come to grips with that, even though it makes me sad. I mean, I'll vote for him, but if I have to kick someone off the ballot to vote for someone else, I will. Cano deserves it. Cookie doesn't. Bartolo does, though. Definitely not Josh Donaldson. Unfortunately for him, if you're at 1,500 hits, just isn't good enough unless you're also like an amazing defender, and you're not. Greinke, yes. I'm going to keep going for Tim Hudson. It probably won't work, but I'm going to try. Joe Mauer, yes. McCutcheon, no. Yadier Molina, maybe. I can't overlook how good he was defensively, even if his offensive skill set wasn't fantastic. Got to give it up for Ichiro. Definitely Joey Votto. I think he's also going to have a hard time making the Hall of Fame, though. Probably in real life, too, if you're a Reds fan. And it's because, again, he's got the kind of skill set that just goes underappreciated, which is he's amazing at getting on base. And he hits for lots of power, but not enough power that he hit like 500 home runs or whatever. I think he's a very clear Hall of Famer, but I have the feeling he's the kind of guy that's going to struggle when it actually comes to voting. And I'm using my last vote on Buster Posey, who I also think, I know he falls under my 1,500 hit rule, but I still think Buster Posey is a Hall of Famer. No, because if I'm going to say Buster Posey Hall of Famer, then I have to, like, justify adding other random catchers. Whatever. I don't think it's going to matter anyway. And they'll go up to free agency, and we'll try to find a couple of lottery tickets to help out the team. It is not lost on me that we have actually shed 2 pretty important contributors from a 100+1 team. That is an undeniable truth. I could get Hayes back. That would be pretty funny to make the same mistake twice, but I'm not going to do that. All right. So one thing I could do is I could sign a pitcher like Casey Kalich to be the new closer. And he looks outstanding as a reliever. But again, I wouldn't pay $10 million for a closer before. I don't see why I'd pay $4 million now when I have much bigger problems. So right now the lineup is basically the same unless Gunnels wins a job, but I do need 2 new starting pitchers. One of which may be a healthy Maldonado, but the other of which TBD. So I think starting pitching is where we have to start. I've seen a lot worse lottery tickets, my friends. I've seen a lot worse. Done. This is the easiest decision I've ever had to make in OOTP 22. He's the best starter on the market, and he's ridiculously cheap. I don't see why I wouldn't take him. I have a little bit of money for extensions, but I don't want to blow through that just yet. Especially signing like a Reed Detmers, for instance. That's a pretty silly decision. And I think we're also going to go ahead and put in an offer for Matt Manning. No, you get a 1-year deal, dude. That's all I want out of you. And you don't get a no-trade clause either. So I'm basically turning Feltman's salary into 2 pitchers. 2 starters. And with Maldonado returning, that gives us 6 decent starters. And even if Maldonado doesn't return, we're in better shape than we were a few moments ago. If both of them sign. But yeah, I think this is just a free agent market. We're just going to stick to the bargain bin and maybe add like a low-key bullpen arm. You're giving me a pretty big package of players just for Hudson Head. What are you giving me? An interesting infielder. All right. A mediocre catcher. Oh, you're giving me OSA ratings. Stop. There you go. So Ackland is a decent prospect. Haggard, not so much. He's a catcher who can't catch. Lombardo's not that great. Ricky Flores might be something okay. So this is a very odd trade because it's the White Sox clearly desperately want Hudson Head. There's something about him that they really find intriguing. And I've got boatloads of outfielders, so it's not like Head isn't available. But the prize in this deal is Ackland. And is that a good enough return? I mean, the White Sox have better prospects. They're just not willing to give any of them to me. What about a guy like Joe Gales? Would you give me Joe Gales? Gales and Williamson. Oh, that's the most that can be in there. Let's see if they make this, if they'll take this offer. If they will, I'll do it in a moment because Gaius or Gales alone is worth it. Plus, he's even more useful to us because he's a two-way player. So I'm going to submit the offer, and we're going to see how this works. So the Yankees are offering me a pretty good starter, but I'm giving up a lot for it. And I, quite frankly, I'm just going to reject that trade flat out. Come on, White Sox. We're very, very close. You know what? I will talk to this about you again, and we'll see if I can add in someone else. You want Jeff Greeley? You can not have Jeff Greeley. You can have Moore. He's a good catcher and nothing else. Done. Yeah, that was a no-brainer for me. And as much as I liked Hudson Head and having his positional value, we made a killing on that deal. And I'm right away, the pitcher that we acquired, Gaius, is probably going to make the team. Like, worst case scenario, he's a mediocre starter. But yeah, he's the perfect long man / yeah, I like this a lot. I think he's a very good fit for this team in either capacity, really, either as a pitcher or as an outfielder or a two-way player. Especially, I'm going to carry 14 pitchers. I need to make sure that the pitchers are a little better. I'm sorry that we lost Tucker Davidson. Oh well. What are the Nationals offering you? You're not worth $10 million. I will find someone in the Rule 5 draft or just hand the job to someone out of spring training rather than pay it to you. Hayes re-signed with the Yankees. Bold move. He's just going to get hurt, dudes. I mean, I love him. But he's just going to get hurt, my dudes. Alright, let's Rule 5 this bitch. Let's try to pick up some really good available talent. I can already tell you one player I'm going to grab. Oh, I can't. Yes, I can. He's still there. I can get Tristan McKenzie for free. Very nice. But no, I think I'm going to take Luke Hayden. Because if it turns out his rehab doesn't work out, I'll just give him back. But if it does work out, then he could be a potentially pretty good pitcher. Someone else took McKenzie. That does make me a little bit sad. You don't have the third pitch. I don't trust you to be a starter. I can't afford to let a shortstop rot on the bench. Connor Walsh is already my player. Yeah, I think I'm good. I think I got what I wanted to out of the Rule 5. Excellent. We did get Hankins. That was a pretty important goal this offseason. And I know he's not like the most exciting pitcher in human history, but he's not terrible. And at this point, I think quantity is almost as important as quality. Um, I'm also going to check the waiver wire on opening day and see if there's even a couple of interesting players I can grab that way. I mean, let's face it. This is not a team that's likely to win 100 games again. And that's okay because we don't need 100 games to win the NL Central. The NL Central is just not that good. Hall of Fame. Cano finally made it. Brady got dropped. Understandable. Votto did open up strong. I'm really concerned about Ichiro, though. Like, he's sliding backwards. 3,000 hits is kind of a no-brainer. I'm curious as to why the voters here... Like, in real life, I fully expect Ichiro sails in on his first ballot. He ticks too many boxes that I would be utterly stunned if they didn't. Also, I think I need to hire some coaches, don't I? I do. I can't just promote Pennyfeather, can I? Oh, no, I can. Excellent. What about Pello? No, I don't want you to be the pitching coach for Indianapolis. I want you to be the hitting coach for High A. What? Why is not even listing that as an option? Borges, would you like to be... Oh, you can be promoted to High A, but he doesn't want to work there. Well, I mean, I'm not really going to complain. Pitching coach, Al Reyes, done. And then I still... Oh, I need to hire a new third base coach. That's right. I want someone who can help teach... Yeah, this guy looks perfect. Jimmy Gonzalez, please be my third base coach. And then I need a hitting coach for High A and a hitting coach for Low A. Luke Montz, sure. And then Rookie League, let's grab ourselves a Kevin Hooper. There we go. Everyone but the third base coach has signed. Excellent news. And there we go. So right away, I'm going to... Oh, Jimmy Gonzalez is already legendary at teaching it. I don't want him to do everything, though. I guess Justin Green can teach base running. But yeah, this is just the best decision. Because I want to make sure I've got the very best teacher for Zion Rose if he's going to succeed. You're offering me a bad reliever, so the answer is no. How much did you get from the Rangers? I might have paid you that, but to be honest, meh. I'd rather have the payroll flexibility. Let's get stupid, right? I've got this extra money burning a hole in my pocket. Let's get real stupid. Oops. 15 million. There we go. And I've still got 10 million in the bank if I need it to sign another free agent for some reason. Like if someone important gets hurt. Oh, snap. I mean, you want to give me more money, I'll use it. Because I think that's the max you can do, right? Perfect. Yeah, I'm pouring every penny I've got into player development. Without hesitation. I did know that David Ortiz got released at the end of the 2002 season. Like, unless a lot of things go very, very right, would I really regret it that much? Rhys Hines isn't that good. Granted, neither are the players you're asking for, but I just don't have a purpose for you. Like, you're basically Brady House, and I've already got one of those. Like, Mom, can we have Brady House? Brady House at home. No, we have Brady House at home, and the Brady House at home is just Rhys Hines. Yeah, I mean, I agree that it's not a bad offer in terms of adding talent. You're giving me cash. I like the sound of that. Meh. I've got players that good hanging out in the minor leagues, though, is the thing. I've really built a pretty deep system, and I'm not going to trade just for the sake of making a trade. And we're going to be worse this season. I don't want to disabuse you of that. We're not going to win 100-plus games this season. But we also don't have to. And I think it's okay to get a little bit worse in the short term to get a big long-term payoff. And I think a big long-term payoff may be exactly what happens. With a bit of luck. I'm going to go ahead and let Nate Hyde. He's going to get a shot in spring training. And I think that's it. I think this is a good mix of players to have in spring training. Ask him for staff. I'm actually going to let Gunnels start. In spring training, and we're going to see what that gets us. Well, it looks like you're wanting to swap a couple players pretty frequently, and I guess I'm okay with that. Wait, Gavin Goudry should not be starting over Brady House. We'll do that. And then I will go ahead and sim through spring training. So we're going to carry 14 pitchers. I can only have 2 extra outfielders and 2 extra infielders. Not even, because I need to carry 2 catchers. That's 9 players gone. I've only got 3 extra roster spots. I mean, okay, but I wasn't going to make you a starter anyway, Chen. If we're going to be frequently injured, you should at least be good and frequently injured, right? Oh, Ron Fairley. Okay, what do we got here? A lot of people getting a little bit worse, but a lot of other people getting better. Oh boy, 25 contact. House got a little better. Guthrie got a little better. Young got better. That's exciting. Soto got better. All right. So, we presently have 20 pitchers. Let's go ahead and make the easy choices first. Okay, you're all injured. You go to the minors. Mike Jowett, you're not very good. To the minors with you. To the minors with you. You're yeah, you get to stay on the roster for sure. Farmer to the minors. We're at 14 pitchers now. This would be our opening day pitching staff. So who are my other two starters then, if I keep this together? I think it has to be Yeen, unfortunately, because someone's got to be the starter. Who else has the stuff to be a starter? And Nate Hyde only has 2 pitches. But all it would take is a pretty minor improvement to his changeup. How would you be rated as a starter, I wonder? Pretty awful. Okay. I think we make you a reliever then. I need someone else to step up and be a starting pitcher. And I think that's going to be Solis. Yeah, it's going to be Solis. Okay. So let's go ahead and clear the roster. My number 1 starter at this point is Aguilar. It's not particularly close. Then Nielsen, second. Solis, third. Hankins, fourth. And Yeen, fifth. Now the bullpen. And this is where it's going to get interesting. First off the bat, Nate Hyde has too much stamina not to be a long man and an emergency starter. Bruns, you're my specialist because you're the only lefty in the pen. Gaius, I want to be long relief, middle relief. So who's my closer? The best stuff is clearly Uribe. And I think because his... Ooh, it's Acevedo. Acevedo is the best pitcher. He's got to be the closer. But Uribe can be the 8th inning setup guy. And... 7th inning setup guy is probably going to be... I think everyone else is just a middle reliever, and we figure out who fills which roles better another time. O'Haron can also double as a long reliever. He's got pretty good stamina. So this is my opening day bullpen. I know it's not nearly as good as the one was last season, but I think it'll still be a pretty darn good one, all things considered. I think it's going to be a really good bullpen. And it's a very cheap bullpen, which is arguably as important, if not more important. Who even is Oscar Sanchez? I literally don't even remember getting you. I apparently drafted you. Go figure. We could probably use an upgrade to the bullpen, in all honesty. If I can get a big arm, say, on the waiver wire, I probably will. I'd love to have a second lefty. Right now, Bruns is going to be in a world of hurt. We're going to be in a world of hurt if they get hurt. And Bruns is probably a little too good to just be a lefty killer. But we'll see. So this leaves me with 33 players. So we got to start sending people to the minors. Brown. I can't afford to carry 2 first basemen. It's got to be Simpson. That goes down to Jesus. Easy choice, send him down. I got way too many outfielders. Morgan to the minors. I'm going to trade Morabel. I'm going to see if I can get a prospect for you. For the simple fact that you just haven't ever really worked out. And I need a 40 I need the spot. I guess I'm a sucker for power hitting catchers that never make the majors, but sure. Done. Sorry, Morabel. I did like you, but I can't afford to carry you on the roster. So I got to get rid of 2 more players. Coop Williams is going to be my starting right fielder. So then flexibility matters more than raw power. So Montesino to the minors. And then yeah, I think we send Trey Fletcher to the minors too. I like it. Absolutely not, game. You are not depriving me of my best 2-way player, which is Gaius. So please, you are a 2-way player. Like, I'm not saying you're going to be starting or anything like that, but you're a good enough player that I definitely want to give you some consideration. Right. Let's nuke everything. All right. So we're going to look at batting ratings, and we're going to start with contact, and it's going to be Juan Soto hitting third. And it's going to equally be John Nelson hitting cleanup. I think those 2 decisions are pretty easy ones to make. Then Cole Young leading off. And then John Cooper Williams probably hits second. Although, so let me actually ask myself this question first. Has Gunnels made the team? Definitively. Or do we send him back to AAA for some more seasoning? I really want that extra outfielder. You know what? I'm going to send Gunnels to AAA. I want just that extra season of seasoning. I mean, I know he's the number 3 prospect in the majors. You're so good, though. Nope. You make it. I'd honestly rather send Smith to the minors and have Montesino on the bench. Because Guju can play all 3 positions quite well, so I'm going to actually have Smith go to the minors and have Montesino. Just so that I've got a full complement of outfielders. I think Goudry can easily handle backing up every position. He's not going to like it, but he's going to do it anyway. So we're going to keep Gunnels on the roster anyway. I might as well leverage his ability to get on base and make him the number 2 hitter. Which then lets me put Williams in at number 5. Then probably Jimenez at 7. Rose here. You know what? I'm actually going to have Jimenez hit 7th. Or 8th, rather. So there's not as much pressure on him to do well. And then we're going to generate the depth chart. No, Gunnels is already starting every day at third base. Or second base. I don't see why I should be playing him at third so much. And I'm definitely not letting Goudry play shortstop just because he's so good defensively. Nope. Mina does literally nothing better except hit for a bit of power compared to Montesino. So, yeah, or to Williams. So I'm going to swap the 2 of you. And we're going to do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and copy both. Just like that. And then you can do your thing here, Mr. Bench Coach. And you can do your thing here. I see they're wanting Goudry to start at third. I've got to give House at least one more chance, but it is actually a pretty decent suggestion to make Goudry the starting third baseman. And then maybe call up Smith and have House in the minors. Yeah, Gunnels is the number 3 prospect. I know he's not flawless and he's going to make some mistakes at second. But his skill set offensively is too damn good to not give him at least a shot in the majors this season. And I mean, Noah Smith, maybe he finds a second gear in the minors and maybe just turns into a really qualified position or utility guy. But I know what he's going to give me, and what he's going to give me is not exciting. I'm going to take a quick look at the waiver wire. All players, and then clear that filter. I'm going to make a new filter, and it's going to be very simply throws is left. And then we're going to add position is all relievers. I actually like Seth Corey better, not least of which because he wouldn't cost me any money. I'm going to claim him. Because that's what I want out of my bullpen. He's even a decent starter, too, but I'm more than happy to just stick him as a reliever. And see what happens. Alright, friends. That concludes our episode. Let's just make sure that any minor leaguers make it, like Nate Hyde, for instance. I think where we will really suffer is the loss of Priester more than we're going to suffer the loss of Feldman. I mean, $10 million for a reliever is just a ridiculous sum to pay unless you've got a lot of money, and we don't. We really don't. So, yeah. I think this is going to be a good season. Probably not as good as last season, but also, who cares? I sure don't. In terms of season or minor league moves during the season, Will Simpson is making a real case to be our first baseman, especially if he has another good year in AAA. And especially if John Nelson can't recoup his rookie season. Like, this is a huge drop-off, and we're asking a lot of him to be our cleanup guy. He's got to be a top player in order for this to work, this whole system to work out. Zion Rose, look, he's a good defensive catcher who's going to hit some home runs. I don't expect Hall of Fame-worthy performance from him. I just want a league average bat with great defense, and I'll be happy out of the catcher spot. We are lacking a little bit in power beyond Soto and Rose, if Rose makes contact. But I don't think that's a huge issue. I think we've got enough power elsewhere in the lineup, or potential for power elsewhere, that we're going to see some good stuff. If Gunnels improves even a little bit offensively, that's probably the end for Noah Smith. Like, all he has to do is just be mediocre defensively, and the rest of his skill set is perfect. I mean, he's an on-base machine, and that's always going to play real good for me. And he hits for decent contact, too. So, yeah. This is going to be an interesting season, I think. And I still very much think... Well, let's check the preseason predictions. They predict I win the division with a 94-68 record. That Juan Soto will be the number 5 hitter in the majors, but that I won't have any in the top 10 pitchers. Reasonable, and I definitely think 90-plus wins is still very possible, especially if Maldonado comes back. And he comes back with any level of actual skill. So we're going to see what happens once he comes back and if he can perform at the level he used to. If he can, great. But if he can't, I haven't really given up all that much. Right? Like, $4 million is more than reasonable. Even $9 million is reasonable. But yeah, we're going to see what happens next season. We're probably going to have to cut the player development budget next season. Just because some of these arbitration awards are going to start going up and up and up and up. But we'll figure out what happens. I'm not really that worried about anyone's money yet. Cole Young could be expensive. And he is prone to injury. So we're going to see how he does in his third full season and see if we can keep building on the success he's had in the past. But that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, this has been Avindian, and I bid you good day.